guys, this is Lance with Manifest Destiny Trio. A couple of days ago we sent out a video of a potential apparition. We went back to the cafe to try and debunk said apparition. To set up what we did a couple months ago, first we had Hal mimic, this was like in the middle of the night, halfway into our investigation. We had Hal mimic like he was opening his cafe. Hal is one of the owners, and him and his mom, who also owns a cafe, say that a lot of the action and what they see takes place when they open. So that's what we had him do, and you know, you can see him here opening up, doing his thing, and you know, a few minutes in to the whole thing, I'm behind the camera and a light almost illuminates off the camera, and it at first I saw it. You can hear me say, well, that was weird. That was weird. And I didn't know what it was at the time, and I almost kind of just brushed it off in a way. We're reviewing the evidence from that investigation, and when I saw it, you know, during evidence review, I hesitated. I kind of stopped in my tracks, rewound it, watched it a couple times over, and it looked like something manifested and showed itself in front of the camera. You know, we don't have a fancy, expensive camera, you know, but it does a trick. It's night vision. We attach an IR. You know, it's a decent enough camera. So I kept watching it over and over and over again. I paused it, slow motion, and I didn't really know what to think about it. Either did the owners. The more I watched it, the more I was convinced that it was some sort of apparition. I wasn't 100% sure, and I really, you know, wanted to be sure if it was. I got really excited that night, and I made the video and I sent it out, really not knowing yet or trying to debunk the supposed apparition. What I wanted to do was go back to the cafe, and I did, with Hal, the owner, and his girlfriend Stephanie helped out. What we did was we did a couple experiments, basically set up the scene the same way. I had the same camera, same IR light, I was at the same angle. You know, I know we're amateurs, but everything I've seen, you know, your first, as a ghost hunter, the first thing you need to do is, you know, make sure it's legit and real. And I wasn't 100% sure, so I wanted to go back and, well, just take a look here. I set up the scene. Alright, so what we're going to do here is we're going to try and debunk what we captured a couple months ago here at the cafe. And we're basically at the same angle. We're going to be at the same angle. I was standing right here, looking through that window right there, and Hal was walking that way, toward the back. And I was out in front of the counter here. And what we did is we caught an apparition that was basically in front, it was right in front of my camera right here. Now, as you can see, there is a mirror here, okay? But if we look at the apparition, it was above here, and you could see through it. So we don't think the mirror has anything or any effect on this apparition. We don't know. So what we're doing now is we're going to set up the same scenario, and we're going to have Hal's girlfriend drive her car back and forth because there's a window right here. So we're going to have her drive back, and then the other way, and then we're going to have her park right outside the windows as well. And what Hal and I are going to do is to stand here, literally in the same spot, to see if any reflection of some sort of a headlight was this image. And we're unsure, I'm unsure, I don't really know, so we're trying to debunk this. So we set the scene up there, and now I'll show you here the experiments that we did before our investigation the other night. So this is where I was.
Right here?
Yep.
Okay.
Hal's on the phone with his girlfriend. She's going by. Where is she?
Just pulled out, so she can go around the building.
Okay, Hal's girlfriend just pulled out. She's coming one way.
Hang around on Broad Street. She's turning. Making a turn around.
Has she gone by?
Yeah.
Put her on speaker, if you can.
Anything, Lance?
Well, I haven't gotten a thing. I haven't
Hasn't gotten anything.
gotten a thing yet. No reflections of any sort. No light movement.
Did you already go both ways? Yeah, sure, you drove both ways.
So Stephanie already drove both ways. We have not gotten anything here.
Here, pull up and try to have light shine through the window that was facing toward the espresso area. Okay. Also, like, flash your brights. I'm not getting any light in.
Is she parked right out here?
Yeah. Yeah, I see your lights shining in. They're just not breaking into the window. Yeah, flash your brights. Like, shut off your lights, turn, just do anything erratic enough, maybe. Are you getting anything?
I'm not getting a thing.
Why don't you shut it off?
Look at the video, and I mean, so I think the reason why it looks funny is because there's almost an illumination.
Yeah, because it comes up from right
Yeah, like
in this corner.
almost kind of on the wall. You can see above the apparition. It gets bright.
No, let me just try something. Anything?
I mean, yeah, I can see it, but I mean, to make a figure. I mean, are you trying to bounce it where you see me? Click again. One more time. A little slower. A little faster. I mean, you just see a light. You don't see a figure. You don't see me off the mirror or anything. Alright, so as you can see, we had Hal's girlfriend drive past the windows both ways, shining flashlights, everything possible that I could really think of. And I really didn't capture anything remotely close to what I did when we first investigated at the cafe. So at the time, right after those experiments, I was 99% sure this had to be some sort of apparition manifesting. And then during the night we started investigating, and something happened. Okay, so at that time we were doing an experiment with a motion sensor and the K2 meter, and while I was filming, I got a glare. And the glare
Hold on.
was from the brass trim of the coolers.
I'm not thinking about that right now, actually.
And when we were doing it even there,
Apparition,
I was
yeah,
telling myself,
kind of a weird-
I don't know if that could really still be what we saw on tape the first time. I don't really see a correlation. It's bouncing off right
Yeah.
here.
The thing is, I aimed it over here, and I couldn't match it. If you look back in the video, you'll see me messing with it. But it never got the same thing, though.
Hold on. Stephanie, come here. No, I need you to see this. Because it's done it every time. But that still wouldn't make sense because I was aiming here. I can't be it.
No.
Because I was aiming higher. And then I got back and started reviewing the tape, and compared it to the tape, the original tape that I sent out the other day, and it came clear to me watching it in like super slow motion, and again as many times as I could, and comparing the glares, watching it in super slow motion and rewinding and fast forwarding and comparing the glares. It was not apparent, but I believe, I strongly believe it was a glare from that brass trim that we caught the first time around. I believe, not knowing we debunked it at the time, I believe we did debunk it just by being at that spot. Looking at it here again, when I paused it here, what I thought was the face the original time was actually something already on the counter in the kitchen, or behind the coolers, so that the face really didn't manifest. It was already there. And then obviously below the face is a torso, what I thought was a torso. That torso is the upper half, I guess you could say, of the glare. It's not like a full circle glare, but it's the upper half of it. And looking at when I was videotaping the other night during our investigation, you could kind of see where a glare could be seen if you aim the camera just at the correct angle, and the IR hits it and it reflects or makes this glare. It is feasible and it is possible, so officially it is debunked. Now, I could have easily erased the original video off YouTube, not really mentioned it again, and just kind of go along with whatever else we do, but I felt that this was an important video to make. Maybe so far the most important video that we've done. I mean, a lot of people, what they say is, oh yeah, you just want to get attention, blah blah blah. It's not really that. We do everything we can to make whatever evidence we catch legitimate. And at first we did think it was legitimate, but this is kind of the process that we go through. It was disappointing to realize this was not an apparition. Yeah, it was, but just because you want it to be something doesn't mean it was a bad experience. It was actually a really good experience, because this is what we need to do when we capture something, is do everything in our power to debunk it first, and then when we can't, okay, now we're talking. Well, the reputation of ghost hunters is, oh, they make it up and they just want attention, and I would assume 99% of the time that's not the truth. Why we do it is we want to communicate with spirits, and we want to, I guess me personally, I want to know if there is life after death. I personally wanted people to know that we just don't assume, oh hey, we caught a ghost, or we caught a voice, and have you guys think it's made up, or have you doubt the credibility of it. But that doesn't mean this place wasn't haunted, because it was. We got plenty of other stuff, and there's going to be some more videos coming up here of the cafe showing some of that evidence. Until next time, thank you very much for watching.